Hello, good morning team. My name is Asim. Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we are going to see one DevSecOps projects where we are going to deploy StarBucks web application onto Kubernetes cluster, right? Before heading toward the implementation of this project, let us have the overview of this project, right? What we are going to cover on this, right? First, if you check it over here, there is a flow which we are going to integrate that from the Jira, we will be assigning the ticket from our team leader, right? Where the developer will push the code to the GitHub. Then we have integration of multiple tools, DevOps tools, which we are going to integrate in the CI/CD concepts. We are using Jenkins as a tool where we are going to integrate multiple tools and we are going to trigger the pipeline from the Jenkins, right? Basically for the deployment, Jenkins one pipeline and then another Jenkins pipeline to deploy into Kubernetes cluster, right? So before heading towards in this project, we are going to cover the three responsibilities as well, right? The main responsibilities of the DevOps, SRE, and the platform engineering. If we check it over here, what is a platform engineer responsibility? That means he's responsible to create the infrastructure on any cloud provider that is AWS, right? And he will be managing the application lifecycle management. He's responsible to service orchestration and containerization. The next coming is the DevOps engineer. DevOps is the engineer, the collaboration between developer team, right, and operations team. So DevOps engineer has a good hands-on knowledge where how he can ship the code from the GitHub, right, which is basically your distributed version control system to the production environment. It is Kubernetes clustered out. So he have all the insights of the DevOps tools, what we are going to integrate, what the security we are going to implement, everything. So he's acting as a middle layer between these two teams to make sure our application is easy, fast delivered to the market. Okay. So then we have SRE who's going to main responsibility to manage and monitor reliable and to make sure that it's available high availability of our application and to make sure that incident response to make a document out of that and to do all the incident reporting what happened and how we can fix it, right? So this part three parts we are going to cover everything as a part of that. Heading towards this, basically GitHub repository contains our code. That is code has been pushed by developer. So developer has written this code. So I'm not the developer. So whoever the developer it is, so we giving out a shout out to him, right? So if you check it over here, I have everything like the dependency of this application. Then I have configuration file related to Kubernetes monitoring. Then I have Terraform code within that. Then I have Docker, Jenkins file, everything, right? If you check it over here, right, with the application, we are going to see this application with the package JSON. What are the dependency of this package JSON, right? So all the libraries of this React JS, everything. So basically it's written in the React JS and it's run on the Node.js application, right? Node.js programming language. So basically it's a JavaScript. Okay. So all the dependency has been written, and here in the package log JSON also he have written everything. Okay. So now if we switch back over here, then this source code which you've seen is a monolithic architecture. All the modules are in a go. That means it's package. We have not distributed as a microservices. Okay. So it's a monolithic application where we are going to see user interface, that is UI of this application after deployment. Okay. So now if we check over here with the continuous integration strategy, right, what we are going to manage with this one, right? So simply what we are going to do it, right? The source code has been pushed to GitHub as I mentioned, right? Source code pushed to GitHub repository. Okay. From there we are doing static code analysis using SonarQube. Okay. Using SonarQube we are doing static code analysis. Okay. After that the pipeline will be triggered because we are writing a Jenkins pipeline. With this pipeline what we are going to do, we are going to do testing. So currently the developer has not written any unit testing for that, so we are skipping this part, but in the real time they will write unit testing. So that part is from Jakarko we are using, right? And the unit testing will be done by SonarQube as well. Okay. So that can be handled, but currently we are not handling this part where we are going to create the artifacts and store that artifacts into one application, right? It can be you can call it as an access repository S3, depend on the use case. Okay. So here after that the code will ship to different environment. Okay. So that means after that we are going with the generation of application where we are deploying this application into staging environment for the testing. Then we are following a rollback strategy, rollback strategy, right, to deploy into Kubernetes cluster. Okay, and here we are using AWS as a cloud provider. Okay, so this is coming with the continuous testing and continuous deployment, right? Then afterwards, when you go it over here in the CI/CD, what do you mean by CI/CD pipeline, right? Continuous integration and continuous deployment pipeline, basically content of multiple stages. Okay, where the codes reside, it is in the GitHub, and the build we are using npm build, right? Because we are using JavaScript, where we are using to build this application using npm build. Then we are going for the SonarQube testing, Trivy testing, and we are going for attaching we are going to review that testing as well. Then we are going to deploy this application into as a Docker container, right, into EKS cluster, that is Kubernetes cluster, right? After that, we are going to monitor this with a Grafana dashboard and Prometheus scrapping, right? Data scrapping, right? Prometheus. So this part is clear from your end. So what are the benefits we are going to get when you are going to create one CI/CD pipeline in terms of software, right? So what we will get faster delivery, right? Faster deployment that whenever the code is pushed to a GitHub repository, automated will be triggered where we are going to add one webhook, right? Webhook, what will done whenever the changes in the repository in any file done, that will code will be deployed into to the environment, right? Using that using webhook. Okay, so after that, it will improve the quality. How it will improve the quality? That means whenever the code failed in the deployment stage, we will receive a one email, right, to the developer teams and who are responsible. They will receive immediately one email with all the details and what the caused this deployment to be failed. So as soon as they will get, they will debug this and they will fix again. They will push this code for deployment with the CI/CD pipeline. Okay, so with this one, they will do improve the quality, right? Always. Okay, so after that, as I mentioned, that it will enhance the collaboration between the team, dev team and the operation team. So if we can diagnose what's caused this application to crash or failure in the deployment stage, right? Reliable deployment, that we can go with the multiple approach, green blue deployment, right? We can go with multiple strategies for the deployment. Okay, rapid feedback, as I mentioned, that whenever we are going to deploy this application into environment like Kubernetes cluster, then we can have rapid feedback, in the sense we can have the monitoring as well with the time frame. We can have the logs and we can check it out what cause feedback we are going to receive from the application state and in the failure state or in the spike of the resources, right? Anything happens, we can find everything with this CI/CD benefits. Okay, then afterwards, if you're going to check it over here, how we are going to do it now, there is a two approach to do it. That, as I mentioned, that we can go with automated part, and we can go with the manual part as well. Currently, we are going with the automated part because we are using CI/CD tool, that is Jenkins tool, right? Where we are going to write one Jenkins pipelines. With the scripted pipeline, we are going to deploy this application as a Docker container to EC2 instance, right, to test this functionality. Then we are going to deploy with another pipeline to Kubernetes cluster. Okay, Kubernetes cluster. So this part we are going to cover with this part. Okay, so all the flow we have discussed. Now we will go and we will create the infrastructure in order to host this application, right? So as I mentioned, we required one AWS infrastructure, right? So we'll create infrastructure for this. And before that, we will cross check over here that we are using Jira for this project management tool. Jira is a project management tool where we are going to receive as a task from your Scrum Master, who is a master for this application, right? Who's going to be managing this application, is going to create ticket in order to execute your work, right? So you have to check it on in the dashboard. You're going to find that all the ticket has been created against me, that is 𝗏𝗏, right? If I check over here, it's stating that I need to deploy this StarBucks clone to Kubernetes, and it has given the criteria, right? GitHub integration, private registry, you are going to integrate static code analysis with the SonarQube, Trivy, CI/CD pipeline. I'm going to create and push this image to Docker Hub. Email alert should be integrated with a Gmail SMTP server, deploying into Kubernetes cluster, SSL certification that we are going to host this application onto Kubernetes cluster and provide one domain in order to access our application client with SSL. Okay, so that we are going to add it when then afterward we are adding monitoring and logging. Before that, we need to create what Jenkins server, right? For that, we need to create infrastructure and deploy multiple DevOps tools, server configurations. We need to add plugins. We need to add Jenkins credential in order to secure that and to call from Jenkins pipeline. Okay. Then afterwards, we need to scan this, create one more SonarQube server. In the SonarQube server, we will scan this project completely, score complete project files, okay, in order to get what are the vulnerabilities, bugs available, security hotspot, sensitive information leak, duplication of the code, and you have any unit testing, okay, coverage, testing coverage. So this all parts can be covered with the SonarQube. So for that, we'll create one more EC2 instance, okay. After that, we are going to create one EKS cluster, right? In the EKS cluster, we are going to go with one master node and three worker nodes. Okay, with this we are going to integrate and we are going to host our application into EKS cluster. When you check the architecture of this Kubernetes cluster, right, you will be finding that there is a one master node of this Kubernetes where we have API server, scheduler, control manager, and ECD, right? Then afterwards, we are going to connect this with the two nodes, that is worker nodes and worker node 2. Okay, before it was Kubernetes master and the slave architecture. They have enhanced with the worker like master and the workers. Okay, so this is we are going to create, instead of two we are going to create three over here, and we are going to deploy the container of our application into the pods. Okay, we are going to integrate, as I mentioned, that we are going to integrate a monitoring tool as well, Grafana and Prometheus. So now what we will do it, in order to proceed further, first we will create one infrastructure. Okay, it will infrastructure and will proceed for integrating all this what task has been given to us, right? Currently I have moved into progress, so we will go now to lab version. Okay, so guys, if you have not subscribed yet, please subscribe so that you support my work, right? It will take a lot of efforts to create this kind of projects, right? So help us grow. Please like and share us. Please like and subscribe, right, our channel, and share with your friends so that they can have hands on knowledge on this production level project. Okay, team, let's go for the part one, where we are going to where we are going to create one virtual machine from AWS, because we don't have any physical server available in my premises. Okay, for project we are going to use AWS as a vendor. Okay, for that use case, I'm going to go over here into the AWS, right? Into the AWS, I'm going to go for the instance. In the instance, I don't have current any server, that is EC2 instance. So I'm going to create one launch instance, right? Here I'm going to give it as a name as Jenkins server. Then I'm going to select as Ubuntu operating system. Then we are going to go with the latest version. Is the best practice in the production environment or any environment to go with the tools as a LTS version, that is latest stable version, right? To have a stabilization of the tools versions. Okay, in this case I'm going to go with T3 large. Okay, here I'm going to create one new key pair. That key pair name I'm going to give it as StarBucks. Okay, StarBucks 1. I'm going to use in this in Starbucks, I'm going to use this key while creation of EKS as well. So just remember that, give the name as well. Okay, so I'm going with the PEM, just create the key pair. So that will be downloaded into your download folder. Then I'm going to give it network as a default. Security group, I'm going to create one new security group so that I can open different ports. Okay, so I'm going to give it as Starbucks Starbucks group SG, right? So I'm going to paste the same thing over here for the description as well. So current, I'm going to open SSH port, then I'll be opening remaining as well. So I'm going to give it as 20 GB, and I'm going to click on this launch instance. Okay, don't worry about the pricing of this. End of this video, I'm going to give you after completion of this project as well, I'm going to give you the link of the video where you can request AWS to waive off your charges, okay, of this project. So I'm going to click on this ID which is given attached to my EC2 instance. So if you check it over here, just I'm going to give it the name just to remember. Let's give it as Jenkins SG. server. Check out over here. Then as I mentioned, right, what we are going to do it, we are going to attach one elastic IP for that. The reason is, so for that use case, if I'm going to restart this virtual machine after starting, so I'm going to lose this IP. I'm going to get new IP from AWS, and I'm this IP in the video in this project, I'm going to assign for the configuration of multiple tools. That means I need to do a lot of reworks. For that use case, we are going to request one elastic IP from AWS. And for that use case, I'm going to go over here. Here in the EC2 session, you'll be finding one elastic IP. You open over here, right? So if you check over here, I don't have any elastic IP in my account, right? For Mumbai one. So I'm going to allocate one elastic IP. So I'm clicking on this allocate. So one IP is created. So I'm going to check this and I'm going to attach this to my EC2 instance. So for that use case, I'm going to go with associate elastic IP. Okay. So here I need to drop down, check this Jenkins server, right? The same virtual machine. And I'm going to check out this as well and say associate. Now the associate has been successfully done. So that means my IP will now it will change. Okay, if you check it over here, it's stating 1370. As I refresh now, I'm going to find one new elastic IP which I have assigned. So my IP is 1349. In case of restarting my server, I'm not going to lose this elastic IP. Okay, so I'm going to take this elastic IP and I'm going to our mobile external, that is third party application, in order to access my virtual machine from my local system. Okay, I'm going for SSH protocol and I'm going to give it my IP. Here I'm going to give it as Ubuntu username. Here I need to give the path of my key which I have created while configuring EC2 instance. So this was StarBucks one. So just give open here. So just click on this. So I'm successfully authenticated. That stated that this virtual machine I can access now, right? So the best practice is to update first the package of sudo apt update, right? -y. So let's update the packages, get updates. Meanwhile, what we will do it, we'll go and we'll open some security ports, okay, which we required in our project to open, right? So if you check over here, just open from here. So let's go for edit inbound rule. So I'm going to add multiple ports open, okay? So HTTP1, HTTPS, right? SMTPS. Let me go with this. Sorry, SMTP. I need to open SMTPS. Where it is over here. I need to add 8080, right? I'll be defining this. Don't worry about that. 3000. Okay. So now this port number we are using for SSH means access for virtual machine. This we are going for web server access, right? Then I'm going to access this for uh, SSL, right? Secure protocol. This is for email integrations. This also for Jenkins server, and this is for our node application which we are going to deploy, right? That is for StarBucks. Okay. Then I need to open one more port, that is for 587. Okay, now I'm going to check all from everywhere. Okay, access from everywhere. Just check over here, check over here, check over here. Save. So all the ports have been added. Progressively, if we required, we will add that port number as well in our security groups. Okay, so that has been added. Now what we will do it, we'll go back to our virtual machine. So virtual machine is configured. Then as I mentioned the flow, my source code reside in GitHub, right? So GitHub account, let me go and cross check this. So that's fine. It is in the repository of StarBucks Kubernetes, and this repository is public. Okay. what we will do it, we will clone this repository in order to execute some script to install our DevOps tools, right? That is in my script folder. Okay. So for that use case, what I need to do it, I need to just copy the URL of this. You should also follow the same way. Just go to over here, and before that we will check out that Git has been installed or no. It's saying that Git version is 2.43.0 is installed. Okay, the point is that I have not installed anything Git, so I'm going to do some Git overview as well. So git clone and give the URL of this and hit enter over here. Now if you check it over here, LL, then you will be finding one directory named StarBucks has been added. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to go for StarBucks over here. Okay, if you LL over here, you'll be finding that all the details of my project dependency has been cloned onto my virtual machine now, right? The second point is that, as I mentioned in my flow, right, that means we are going to integrate our repository that is in private. Okay, so that means I'm going to convert this repository into private, my GitHub repository, right? For that use case, if I want to convert this repository into private, I have this access of this repository, right? So that because this repository belongs to 𝗲𝗃-𝗏19, so I can convert this repository into private. But in your use case, you need to do some configuration as well. Okay, that means you need to clone this repository and push to your GitHub account repository. Okay, so for that use case, I'm giving as a demo. Okay, so that you can practice everything and you can push your this code to your GitHub repository. Okay, and you can have access of this converting this repository into private. Okay, so for that will flow, what I'm going to do it, I'm going to go over into my repository. Then I'm going to check out is on which repository it has this directory has been configured. If you check it here, git remote -v, right? Because I have not configured globally for this EC2 instance, just directory wise it has been configured. That means it has been configured to 𝗲𝗃-𝗏19 Kubernetes. Okay, for that use case, we will remove first this origin, then we will add our origin. That means your origin. Okay, for that what we require, we need to add simple. You need to what you need to do, you need to remove this origin. Okay, just copy and paste it over here and hit enter. So what will happen, this origin will be deleted. Now if I'm going to check over here, git remote -v is stating that there is no origin has been defined for this repository. Okay, if you ll over here as well, it is dot git has been installed by initialized by default. Okay, so now what I will do it, I will go to my account over here and I will create one repository. Okay, just click on this and go to your repository, then create new repository. Okay, so in the repository I will give it as StarBucks demo. Okay, StarBucks demo repository. Here itself it has given the prompt that you can make this repository as a private or public. I'll say that make it private because I no need to go and configure again, right? So everything is fine. I'm going to create this repository now. So when I'm initializing the repository, it's giving some command in order to push any code from your local to this repository. Okay, for that use case, I no need to comment because I have already added. So let's go and initialize this. So I'm just going to copy this, right, and paste it over here. Git init. Okay, already initialized. And then I'm going to add git commit, first commit, right? I'm going to give it the name of this as clone. Okay, clone repo, right? So commit has been added. So then afterwards I'm going to push this to my account. Okay, so just click on this and paste it over here. Sorry, just a second. Paste it over here and hit it enter. Okay, so now if I'm going to go with git remote -v, so you'll be finding that new repository has been initialized, right? That means origin has been fixed to this repository. Now what I can do it, I can push my code to this repository, right? So for that I'm going to copy this git push origin. Okay, so hit enter. So in this git push -u origin, so username of your account. Okay, so for that use case I'm going over here Then I'm copying this. You need to give it account a name. Okay. So here I'm going to paste it. So as I enter over here, it's asking the password to authenticate your GitHub account. Okay. So for that use case, the password support has been revoked in I guess in 2021. So now new support is coming up with the GitHub token. Okay. So how you're going to create one token for for GitHub? Okay. For that you need to go with over here. I need to go for settings, settings in new tab. Go over here down. Go for developer setting. Right, click on this personal access token, go for token classic. Here you click on this new token, go for new token classic, then give it a node as StarBucks demo. Okay, and you give the permissions of this token for repo, workflow, identified, work packages, admin org, webhook. That's fine. Okay, so create token. So what I have added, I have added 4 permissions. Okay, so new token is created. This token I'm going to update in my document. Okay, and as well I'm going to use this token while configuring Jenkins, integrating with the GitHub as well. Okay, so over here I'm going to give it only the token, paste, and hit enter. Okay, so it has been authenticated and the code has been pushed to my repository. How you're going to find? You go and refresh over here. Let me go to my clone and let me refresh this. So he's saying that the code has been cloned. Okay, so that's fine. Whatever the repository you are going to push this code, now you will have access of this repository to convert into private, public, anything you can do. You have all the control of this repository. Okay, so let me go back to my repository now. I'll be working on that repository only. StarBucks Kubernetes, right? Okay, the code has been pushed to your repository. You can use for the Jenkins configuration and everything. Now what we will do it, as I mentioned that we will go back to scripts, let us ll over here, and you'll be finding one directory with the name of script. So let me go for script and hit ll. You'll be finding that there is a multiple scripts available. Okay, so let me give the executable permission. If you check over here, everything in the white color. If you have executable permission, it will show in the green color. Okay, so cat permissions, right? So you have a code over here. Just take this and execute. Okay, so all these files will be executable permission will be applied. So first what we need to do it, we need to install Jenkins. Okay, for that I'm going to use this sh command to install Jenkins. Okay, and remember this point, and I will give you this overview as well. So if you go for script, if you go for Jenkins, these all scripts what we are showing in this project that has been driven from their official websites. Okay, so if I'm going for the manual, it will take a lot of time that will add more to my project. For this video, it can add 2x a time. To minimize this time, we have created shell script. Shell script advantage as well is that it will automate all the steps what we have given. Sequent it will execute. First it will execute update package, install, then it will install Jenkins, enable Jenkins startup gist. It will add the key as well. Okay, so if I go over here, it's installing Jenkins on my virtual machine. That's fine. It's stating that the Jenkins has been installed. How do we check now? So I can just check a system ctl status Jenkins, right? So it's prompting that Jenkins is active and running, right? See if you check it, very active. And it's running on which port number? It's running on 8080. 808 port number I have already opened on my virtual machine. So let me go over here and let me copy my server IP, that is static IP, and I'm going to paste it over here and I'm going to give it 8080, right? So if you hit enter over here, so you'll be finding that I need to give the password in order to validate the authentication of Jenkins, right? So the password is stored on this over here. So just use the command cat to display this code, secret code. . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . cat paste it, hit enter. So it's saying that okay, permission. Just a second. I'll add sudo for this because I'm currently as a Ubuntu user, right? So sudo cat. Okay, it's stating that the password has been displayed, right? Let me copy this and paste it so that Jenkins parallelly gets installed over there, right? So I have not installed. I'm giving for the install suggested plugin. So it will install some plugins for this. Meanwhile, what we will do, we will install remaining tools as well. Okay. The second, what we need to configure Docker on this. Okay. So for that, I'm going to go for Docker sh. So let's discuss about this Docker as well. So what are the commands in Docker sh file? Okay. Here simply I'm updating the package. I'm installing Docker IO. I'm adding Ubuntu user into the Docker group. By default, when we are installing Docker tool or Jenkins tool, one user will be created against their name, like Docker and Jenkins. So for the Ubuntu to have the access to view Docker PS or Docker images, Docker running containers, top containers, then they should have the permissions. For that use case, I need to add Ubuntu into the Docker group so that whatever the permission Docker user has the same the Ubuntu user will have all the same permissions. Okay, as well as I'm adding Jenkins user as well. Then afterwards I'm refreshing this group because I have added some permissions, right, users to that group. Then I'm adding docker.socket permission so that it should have it's a socket permission as well. Then I'm restarting the Docker because we have done some of the configuration over there. Then later on I'm just printing the version of Docker. Okay, so let us check it over here. What Docker version? So let us print docker-v. So it's printing that Docker version is 26.1.3. Okay, that's fine. We have configured Docker as well. So let's go over here. Then Jenkins is the Docker is in. Now I need to install Trivy. Okay, so let's install Trivy. Let's search Trivy. Okay, so what will happen? It will install Trivy. For that, I'm going to give you overview of Trivy. So basically, what I'm going to do it, I'm going to add the packages of right? Repository key of Trivy, repository source list. Then I'm updating this list and I'm installing Trivy. Okay, these are driven from official document. Okay, let me just check Trivy-v. It's saying that Trivy version is configured. Okay, so what I have remaining now, that's fine. I need to install Terraform, right? The reason is that I'm going to install create infrastructure using Terraform. Okay, so what kind of infrastructure? I'm going to create one monitoring server. So if I'm going to Terraform -v, it's printing that Terraform has been installed. That's fine. So LL now. So it's saying that we have installed everything. Now what we will do it, we will install AWS CLI, right? Because we are going to create one EKS cluster. In order to communicate with your AWS provider, you require SDK of that, right? So for that, you require AWS CLI to be installed. Simply you go over here and install AWS CLI. Okay. After AWS CLI, you need to install EKS cluster, 𝗘𝗍-𝗃. In order to communicate with your EKS cluster, you need to install that utility tool as well. Okay. Then afterwards, you know very well 𝗘𝗍-𝗃 in order to communicate with your Kubernetes cluster. You need to roll out, you need to create a service and everything that you required one more package that is 𝗘𝗍-𝗃. Okay. The two things we will update now. So that AWS CLI is installed. Now what I need to do it, I need to do it EKS-CTL. Okay. So let me just EKS-CTL. No, before that I need to, yes. Just a second. I think cat cube. Let us view this. Okay, let's install kubectl. That's fine. kubectl install. Now I need to do it. What EKS cluster? EKS-CTL I need to install now. Okay. So it's saying that EKS CTL also has been configured. That means whatever we required for this virtual machine has been configured. Okay, kubectl and everything is done. Prometheus and Grafana, we will install this one in monitoring server. Okay, so for that use case, we will go back over here and we will check where we are standing now. Okay, for that I'm going to give it admin. You can give it strong username and the password, but in the practice session we are giving uh, the easy way, right? So what I'm going to give it over here, I'm going to give it as 𝗏𝗏 email. Also I'm going to give it 𝗏𝗏. Okay, save and continue. So I'm going to save it over here and save it. That's fine. Now, if you check the deep dashboard of the Jenkins, you're able to find there is a 3 tags over here. New item to create the jobs of CI/CD jobs, build history where you can track what are the pipeline has been triggered, what are the status of that pipelines, and manage Jenkins where we are going to configure multiple tools, integration of the tools, server we are going to integrate, configuring plugin and everything. Okay. So if I'm going for the manage Jenkins, then we are going to integrate different plugins to that. Okay. For that use case, first what we need to do it, we need to install some plugins. Okay, so I'm going for this manage Jenkins and I'll going for the plugin setup. Okay, see, one more latest update came from Jenkins. This saying that Jenkins support of Java 17 will end, so possibly they'll be upgrading to Java 18 or 19 version. No, don't worry, that's going to be done in the next year. Okay, go for the plugins. For the plugins I need to go for available plugins, then I need to install multiple plugins over here. Okay, first I need to go over eclipse terium install, right, where we need to configure Java. Okay, so for that, next I need to install what are the Node.js, right, Node.js second plugin. The third plugin I need to do it as stage view, because we are going to write Docker scripted pipeline, right? Sorry, a Jenkins pipeline, scripted pipeline, where we need to have the view of the stage on which stage it's getting failure or passed. Okay. Then I'm going to use Docker as well, because you know very well that I'm going to create this application as a Docker container, right? Going to deploy as a Docker container. For that, I need to have Docker pipeline, Docker API, Docker build step. Okay, this all has been added over here. That's fine. What we have added, Eclipse, that's fine. 1, 2, 3, 4 stage view, Docker, npm. That's fine. Docker common and everything is fine. Okay, so this is installed now. That's fine. I'm going to restart this Jenkins server, right? Because we have installed the plugin. It will take like minutes to install, right? If you check here, Jenkins has been restarted, right? So we will be logging into it, right? Check over here as a keep me sign in. So I'm into the Jenkins now, right? So if I'm going for the dashboard, so I don't have any pipeline over here, right? Then if I'm going for the manage Jenkins, where I need to configure multiple tools over here, right? For that, first what we need to do, we need to configure the system, right? So for that system, let's go and check it out over here. So here you're going to find that SMTP server, and we need to configure SMTP server as well, right? And later on we need to install a different right, SMTP server and everything. How you're going to use a Gmail for this, right? So whenever your pipeline get triggered in case of success, failure and everything, you should receive one email alert, right? So monitoring is the best part in prospect of any organization, right? You should receive the emails and updated alerts from the email, or it might be Slack, or any type of notification service defined by your organization. In this use case, we will be going with the Gmail, right? So I'm going to go for my Gmail account, right? In the Gmail account over here, you're going to find it in the settings, right? So go for here and just a second, manage your Google account here, and I'm going to search it over here as a uh, app password. Okay, so if you check it over here, it's showing that app password. If you click over here, you'll be redirecting. Just you need to confirm your login. Even if you don't have MFA multi-factor authentication, you need to apply multiple MFA on your account. Then only you can proceed to create your Gmail SMTP server. Okay. Here I need to give it as a StarBucks, right? You can give it anything. Just to remember that I'm going to give it StarBucks. Create one passkey. Okay. So the key is created. Just I'm going to copy and save in the document, because after this it's not be visible over here, right? So I'm going to give it in email passkey, right? So just paste it over here. That's fine. And then afterwards I'm switching back over here. First we will configure email notification. Okay, for here what we need to do here, we need to give it at SMTP, right? SMTP dot gmail.com, right? Gmail.com. What kind of SMTP we are going to use? We are going to use at smtp.gmail, right? And here what we need to do it, email prefix. You can give it as @gmail.com, right? Because we are using here. If you go for email over here, then what kind of authentication we are using? We are using SMTP authentication. For that, I need to give the username of this. Username will be my Gmail account, right? Mail.com. And the password, I need to give it what? I need to give it the passkey, what I have created, okay? So just I'm going to copy over here and paste it here. And here I'm going to give it as SSL TSL checked, right? TSL and the port number on which we are going to access, this is 587, okay? And the email address where it has to be written, so I can give it as the same email address, right, of my account. So if somebody replied to that email, so I should reply, I should receive that emails, right? So whatever configuration we have done, we will test it out to make sure that it's working, right? So I'm going to check on the test configuration. Email is asking, I'm giving only my email address, and I'm going to test over here. So it will validate my username, passkeys and everything, and it will print sorry, 1 second guys. I have mistyped over here. It's supposed to be 587. Okay. So test configuration now. Yes, it's prompting us. The email was successfully sent. So if I'm go and review this, you're saying that I have received one test email over here, right? So that means the email part is working fine. So I'll be applying this. Then afterwards, I need to add as a post build action, right? So for that, I need to add this credential as well in one more extended email. Okay. In the extended email, what we need to do it, the SMTP server same as over here, right? smtp.gmail.com, right? Port number over here we are going to add as 465. Okay, 465, which we have enabled over here, right? 465, that is working on SMTPS, right? That is SSL certification through SSL protocol. So let's go over here in the advanced. I'll check it gmail.com. Okay, and if you click on this advanced, then it's fine. If you click on this advanced, I need to provide the credentials over here. Here in the below we have given username and credential as open, right? We have not secured in the vault. Here what we need to do, you need to go and add the security credential in Jenkins vault, that is Jekyll credentials. Okay, for that use case, if you check over here, I don't have anything. So it's stating that you don't have, you can add it over here. So if I'm going to check over here, one prompt is given. So here I'm going to go with user with password. Okay, username, what will be the username? It will be my email address. What will be the prior password? The password will be the passkey which I have created over here. I'm going to add it. Okay, what I'm going to give the ID, I'm going to give this ID as SMTP dash Gmail. Okay, whatever you are going to give the ID, the same ID you are going to call from the Jenkins. Okay, Jenkins pipeline. So that's fine. Description also I'll give it as SMTP Gmail. Hide it over here and save it. Okay, that's fine. So what happened? We have added everything as required. So I'll apply and I'll save it. Okay. So what we have done, we have configured the system now, right? The system covers of email alerts. So now the remaining things I need to go and configure the remaining parts. Now we need to configure the tools as well, right? So as per our structure, what tools we are going to integrate over here? We need to use Node.js, right? We are going to configure Node.js. We are going to configure Docker, Trivy and everything, right? So let's go and configure some of the tools over here. So first, before that, we need to go and add JDK tool over here, right? Because I'm going to call this JDK version. Okay, so JDK 17 home, I no need to give it install automatically. Here I'm going to select that install from adoptium.net, and I'm going to go with the JDK 17 version. Okay, so let's go with 17.10.7, and that is fine. Afterwards, gits we not need to install, and is fine, maven is fine. I need to configure node.js. Okay, for that use case, if I check over here, it's node 17, right? I have misconfigured. I supposed to give as JDK over here. So sorry guys, just I'll be giving over here JDK, right? I have misconfigured both tools. So that's fine. Just we need to rename as JDK 17. Okay. So if I'm going over here, I'm going to give it as node. What I have the name over here, I have node 17, right? So as simply I'm going to give it node 17. Here I'm going to select as, okay. That's fine. Everything is fine. And Docker installation, as we have installed on the server, so we don't require Docker installation for now. Okay, just I will apply and I will save it over here. So what we have done, we have configured to system tools and plugins and everything, right? So now what the best part is that we need to add some credentials over here. For that use case, we will go for the credential provider, configure credentials. So I am going for the global, and I'm going to add the credentials over here. The credentials, I'm going to add it as a user and password, where I'm going to give it a Docker. We need to give the credentials of the Docker Hub in order to push our image to Docker Hub, right? So that for that use case, I'm going to go over here and I'm going to username of this. Then I need to give the password over here, right? So the password is for my account. You just give your own account password, right? Then ID, I'm going to give it as which ID I'm going to call it. So for that use case, I'm going over here. Let me cross check what I have missed. So I'm going to give it as Docker. Simply I will give it Docker. Okay, description also I will give it as Docker. Create over here. So one security has been added. Remaining what we required, one SMTP is added, Docker is added. Let us review. SonarQube we need to add it over here, right? So for that use case, what we required, we need to configure SonarQube. Okay, so what we will do it now, we will set up one SonarQube server, right? Let's install one EC2 instance, right? For that EC2 instance, we are going to add it as SonarQube server. SonarQube server. So here I'm going to go with Ubuntu, right? Here I'm going to go with T2 medium. That will be more than enough because we are going to configure only Docker and SonarQube for that. Okay. So I'll be clicking on this, and then I'm going to go for T2 medium. Okay. So TD medium is fine. Then I'm going to go for the same existing key which I have created for StarBucks one, right? So here I'm going to keep everything, and I'm going to give it 8 and allow SSH. Then I'm going to just go over here. That's fine. I'm going to launch instance. So my one instance is getting launched, EC2 instance, that I'm going to convert that into one virtual machine. Sorry, that into SonarQube server. Okay. So I'm going to access this virtual machine now. Just I'm going to take this IP address of the SonarQube server, go for one here, create one more session, right? I'm going to give it over here, specify name Ubuntu. Here I'm going to go over here, private key. I'm going to use the same key, right, which I've set up for Jenkins server. So I'm going to go inside this. So I'm able to access this SonarQube server as well. So let us give the name over here. Just give the name as rename, right? SonarQube server, right? And I'm going to check it over here, and I'm going to add this name for Jenkins server as well. So I'm going to as a Jenkins server. I'm going to check out. Okay. So in the SonarQube, if you check it over here, what we have just we have configured let me just update sudo apt update the packages, right? So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to install SonarQube on this server. Okay, let's go to the repository of this project where I have scripts, right? Where the scripts. So simply what I'm going to do, I'm going to go for docker sh. So simply I'm going to copy over here. Now we'll go over here and just I'm going to use nano to create one docker sh file, right? Shell script file, and I'm going to paste it over here. Right, so just I'm going to install docker on this. So for that I need to give the executable permission, right? chmod plus x for docker sh. Okay, so if you ll over here, you will be finding that one executable permission has been applied. Okay, it's coming with x. So another point is that I need to install this docker on this, because SonarQube we are going to configure as a docker container. Okay, okay, so if I hit over here docker or version, it's saying that docker version is installed. So what I'm going to do it now, just I'm going to view over here, just I'm going to take the command over here, right? And I'm going to execute this command in order to run SonarQube as a docker container. Okay, so it's what is done over here. So it's pulling the image from our Docker Hub repository with the name of SonarQube LTS version, this latest version, right? Latest stable version, and we are going with the community version because we are going for the free version, right? Open source. If you are with the enterprise version, then you can select enterprise over there. So currently we are going with the free version of this. Okay, so it's successfully done and it's working fine. So if I check over here, Docker PS, you will be able to find one container has been created that is up and running in 9000 port number. Okay, so if you check over here in the EC2 instance, what we have configured on SonarQube, we have not enabled this 9000 port number, right? So what we will do it, we will go in the network and we'll go into security group and I'll go for launch instance wizard and I'm going for event rule. Then I'm going to add over here the port number as 9000, right? By default, it's run on that, and okay, and save it. That's fine. So we have opened the port number 9000. So I'll be going for the 9000 port number and I'm going to copy the IP address of this and I'm going to click on this IP address, then I'm going to give it 9000. So the request will land on this virtual machine. Which virtual machine? That is our SonarQube server. If you check over here, the spike has been started, right? That is related to the load of this machine because we are accessing SonarQube. By default, SonarQube's is admin username and password. We will configure this as per our need. You can add it anything, right? To make sure this is the strong passwords. So we have added over here. So now when you have added the we have configured the SonarQube, right? So we don't have any projects, existing project over here. So now in order to communicate with the GitHub, right, as a global configuration, what we need to do, we need two things. First thing, we need a token in order to communicate. We need to communicate with the Jenkins with the SonarQube server, right? If you check over here as well, I say that the Jenkins is different server and the SonarQube is different server, right? So in order to authenticate this two, we required one token. So for that, what we will do, we will go and we will create the token. So how we are going to create the token for that is just go over here, right? Let me go into the administrator. Then we'll go to the my account and the security. Then I'm going to create one token over here. Okay. So just I'm going to give it as Jenkins type of the token. I'll give it as global analyst token, right? I'm giving 30 days. You can give it as you require, no expiration, 1 year and everything. So one token will be created. The token I'm going to save in my document as well, right? In my document as well, I'm going to save this in Jenkins as well. Okay. So I'm going in the Jenkins credentials, add credentials. So I'll be checking as a secret text, right? In the secret text, I'm going to, secret file. I'm going to add a secret text. Here I'm going to paste this secret and I'm going to give the ID over here. what kind of ID we are going to give it, the same we are going to call from the Jenkins server, Jenkins pipeline. So where is my Jenkins pipeline, Jenkins file, SonarQube GitHub, just a second, StarBucks. That's fine. Let me add it over here, SonarQube. Description, I can give it anything. So I'm going to create. So that means I have added one credentials that is related to SonarQube, right? So Docker SonarQube is done. Now the second point that what we need to do is that we need to add the SonarQube webhook as well, okay? So I'll be clicking on this administration. Then afterwards, I need to go for configuration. Then I need to go for webhooks over here. Then here I need to create one webhook. Okay. So the webhook name I can give it as Jenkins, right? And the URL I need to give of my Jenkins server. The Jenkins server URL is over here. Just go and paste it URL. Then afterwards I need to give it as SonarQube. And then afterwards webhooks webhook, right? Give a slash over here. I'm giving on which my Jenkins is accessible. Then I'm giving SonarQube webhook, right? Then I'm going to go and just give it a secret I don't require and create. Thus, we have created one webhook as well, right? Okay, that's fine. That is created. Now, as per that, we have saved all the credentials related to this project. Just we need to go and configure this SonarQube scanner as well, right? So I'll go to the manage Jenkins. Then afterwards, I'll go for the tool. Then I'm going to search for SonarQube. So I miss to install this plugin. So let me cross check this as well. I'll be opening one more over here. Let me check the plugin. Does I have installed Sonar plugin? So install plugin. Sonar. No, I have not installed this. Okay, I have missed to install. So what I'm going to do it, I'm going to install SonarQube plugin. So it's saying the SonarQube scanner, right? So install the SonarQube scanner and let me restart one more again. Or you can restart using check the internet. Okay, so what I'm going to do it, I'm going to restart this to apply the plugin effects. If you check it over here, our Jenkins servers has been restarted, right? So that means we can go and configure the Sonar scanner as well. So if you check over here down, you're able to find that SonarQube scanner installation is there, right? Above also, let me cross check what are there. Sonar scanner framework build, Docker, and this is done. So I'm just going just a second. SonarQube scanner. Here we need to give the SonarQube's name. SonarQube name, right? So instead I'm going to give it as Sonar scanner. Then afterwards I'm saying that automatically install the version. I can keep it as a default. So the same name I'm going to call with the Jenkins pipeline. Sonar scanner, the name of the tool I mentioned as Sonar scanner. Okay, that's fine. So just I'm going to apply and save it. Okay. That is part is that we need to configure SonarQube server as well as a system, okay, in the system as a server. So we missed out that part. So what we will do it, we will new the name SonarQube and add it as a server. Then I need to give the URL of the server, right? So where our SonarQube is up and running, right? We don't know where it is running. So Jenkins has thrown this error. So that's fine. We need to go over here. And here I need to give it server authentication token, right? So already I have added over here with the SonarQube name, okay? So just what I'm going to do it, I'm going to uh, SonarQube over here, right? And save it, apply, right? Apply and save it. So the prerequisite of configuring the tools, plugins, the servers, like integration of the servers onto the Jenkins server, everything has been completed now. So before creating the Docker, creating the Jenkins pipeline, what we will do is we will install EKS cluster, right? So that it will take like 5 to 10 minutes. Meanwhile, we can do parallel work like creating EKS cluster, creating the Jenkins pipeline. Okay. So for that, I'll go and I will install. Let me go to the root directory over here so that I can execute some command. So let me go to Ubuntu, right? So if I ll over here, I have the files over here, right? So first thing what we need to do it, we need to authenticate our AWS, right? Our our EC2 instance with our AWS account. For that use case, what we required one permissions file, right? So for that use case, I need to go for AWS. I'll go for IAM users. In the IAM users, I'll be opening over here. Then what I'm going to do it, I'm going for the users, right? Here I'm going to create one user with the name of my project. That is what kind of project it is, StarBucks, so that I can remember that I have created for this. So I don't want to give it AWS console management for this. So I'm just checking out. Right here, I need to attach some policies. Okay. I'm going to give it as administration access, and I'm going to give it as VPC full access, right? Now, full access, uh, cloud formation, full access. Okay. So what kind of policies we have given? Four policies. IAM user full access. IAM full access. Okay. So I have to check it out. I have to make sure that I have given 5 permissions for these users. So I'm going to click on this create user. So the user is created, right? The username is uh, StarBucks user, right? StarBucks user. The reason is that, but I don't have the access key in order to use this as a CLI, right? So for that, I'm going to click on this secret access key, and I will say that I need a command line interface, and I'm saying that okay, I understand, and click on this next. I know I can give it as Starbucks, and I'm going to say create text. So now one access key, secret access key has been given by AWS. Okay, but the point is that I'm going to use in my this project tutorial. But after this video is live, I will be revoking this secret keys. You don't worry that if this keys has been exposed also, there is no worry that I'm going to disable and revoke this when this video will be live. Okay, so I'm just going to copy this, and I'm going over here and AWS configure. So AWS configure will work only when you have installed AWS CLI on this virtual machine. So my virtual machine on which AWS CLI is configured, that is Jenkins server. So simply what I'm going to do it, I'm going to copy this, right? And I'm going to paste it on over here, right? Paste, hit enter. And here is asking secret access key. So what I'm going to do it, I'm going to copy and I'm going to paste it over here. Hit enter, and default name I not need to get, I'll keep it everything as default. As I hit enter, it's stating that that has been completed. So how do we cross check? If you go for AWS configure, it should print that the last 5 letters of your keys. Okay, so it's successfully done. So I'll be just clicking out. That is, so what I'm going to do it, I'm going to configure one EKS cluster now, right? So for that, I have a document over here, I have the command as well. If you really review over here, so how to create one EKS cluster? So just I'm going to use EKS-CTLI command line interface in order to create one cluster with the name of 𝗏𝗏𝗃. In our account, the region I have given AP South 1, AP South zones, AP South 1 A and B. Okay. The version of the Kubernetes I'm going with the 1.3 and without node group. The reason is that I'm going to create node group in the second part. Okay. Here I'm going to create it the node groups, right? Over here in the C. See if you check it here over here. The above command is crucial for the EKS cluster because it's enable IAM roles for service account. As I mentioned that we are going to what we are going to do, we are going to utilize utilize associate IAM user, right? What user we have created now, that is StarBucks, right? That I'm going to execute over here in the second phase. Third phase is over here, right? Here what I'm going to do it, I'm going to create one a node type, right, into name and T3 medium. I'm going to create 3 nodes, minimum 2 and 4 is maximum. where we have giving the scaling as well. And the SSS key, I'm going to give it StarBucks 1, which I have used in this project, okay, while creating one monitoring servers as well as one Jenkins server, okay. Everything is fine. You need to give it the same name over here, okay. Don't forget, I have even over here, before executing this command, you need to update your key over here, okay. So that's fine. What I'm going to do it, I'm going to copy this command and I'm going to paste it over here. So just let me give it over here, hit enter. So what happened, it has started creating the stack cluster name as a cloud asim, right? So just we will wait. Meanwhile, what we will do, we will go over here into the Jenkins, right? And we will start creating one pipeline, okay. So let me go to the dashboard, then let me go to the new item. In the new item, I will give it as StarBucks pipeline, right? So I'm going to go with the pipeline script. Just click OK. So the script will be, we need to go over here, right? Here I'm going to give it, this is for StarBucks project, okay, StarBucks project. So I'm going to give it and I'm saving that keep only maximum 3, just to make sure our data is not heavy on our server. So after that, what I'm going to give it over here, here I need to give it a pipeline script, right? Now what we will do it, just what we need to do it, that we will create one sample pipeline, right? So I'll go with the hello world, okay. Here what we need to give it, I need to give it stage hello world, okay, over here, right? So for this case, I'm going to overwrite as git clone, right? Git clone. After that, I'm going to use pipeline script. So here what I'm going to give it over here is that I'm going to clone the repository from where? From our GitHub. Okay. So I'm going to search Git. Then I need to give the URL over here. So my URL of this repository, which is private, in case of your repository, which is private, you need to give your repository URL over here. So what you need to do it, you need to update this URL. Okay. Over here, and here you just give it over here. As you give over here and give the main branch, right, stating that there is no such repository that is public, okay. So it's saying that password authentication has been removed in August 31. So in order to communicate Jenkins with your GitHub repository, what we required one token, okay. So for that use case, what do I need to do it, I need to go again to manage Jenkins, then to the credential, right, credentials. Then I'm going to add one more credentials over here, right? So add credentials. So here what we'll do, we will add as a username and password, right? Here I need to give my repository your name, right? And my repository name, as I mentioned that it's 𝗲𝗲 𝗔𝗽𝗃. So just I'm going to give it as just a second. I'm going to give it as 𝗲𝗲𝗃𝗦19. And the password I need to give the token which I've created, right? So you remember that I have created the token while pushing the repository, right? So if I going over here, what I've created password over here, right? So just I'm going to copy this and paste it over here. and here I'm going to add as a and paste it over here ID, because with the same ID I'm going to call from my pipeline. Okay, so just what I need to do it, and I have the credentials of GitHub. What is the credential? Username and password. Create. That is done. Save. Now if I'm going over here and refreshing this credential, I'm going to find let me refresh this. Let me go for the Git, right? And let me go for my repository URL. Is my repository URL is over here. Copy this and paste it over here. Then I'm going to give it as main branch. Okay, now authentication is failed. Now as I'm going to check off this GitHub token, right? So it should validate now. It's saying that, see, the error has been resolved. That means the token has been validated and it has gave authentication between the GitHub and our Jenkins server. Okay, so generate pipeline script. So I'm going to copy this and paste it over here, where in the Jenkins pipeline where I was creating over here. So let me paste it over here. Just it. Okay, and it's done. So we are adding one first pipeline stage. So make sure that to check out our repository is accessible or not, right? So click on save and let us trigger now the pipeline. And let us check out what the result is my pipeline is going to print it, right? It has been now pushed over here, right? So it's stating that the pipeline is successful. If I'm going over here, it's saying that, okay, the code has been cloned and everything is available with this URL. It has used the secret credential with the name of GitHub token, right? I don't have any tool configured over here. So that is fine. So successfully is done, right? So the remaining two remaining pipelines we are going to create now, okay? Meanwhile, we'll go and we'll check. It's taking still time to create this EKS cluster. So let's wait. It's creating VPS CNI. Okay, that's fine. So what we will do it, we'll go over here and I will go to my Jenkins pipeline, right? So I'll be copying the Jenkins pipeline, right? Here I'm going to just a second pipeline. I'm going to read this and paste it over here, right? So let me just give it overview over here. So let me give you the overview of this pipeline, okay? So let me zoom as well. So if you check it over here, I'm just first I'm going with the pipeline script, right? Then I'm configuring JDK 17 because I tool with the name of JDK, if you remember. And then Node.js also I have configured as a tool as Node.js 17. Okay, so we are configuring tool first. Then afterwards, I'm giving the environment. The environment name I have given as SonarQube server. Okay. Then after I'm cleaning the workspace because whatever the code has been pushed has been cloned in the last GitHub repository, last pipeline trigger, right? So that workspace need to be cleaned in order to keep all codes with latest updates. Okay. After that, what I'm saying credentials ID, GitHub token, URL already I have given over here, right? StarBucks, right? Then afterwards, I'm going for the quality gate from the SonarQube. Before that, what I'm going to do, I'm going to scan this code with the SonarQube server. SonarQube server already I have configured, right? You remember that. I have given the URL and the token as well to in order to Jenkins to integrate with SonarQube, right? Authenticate and integrate. Quality gate, I'm saving that is false because if our quality SonarQube quality gate by default whatever has been configured that is failed also, the pipeline should not stop because we are not added any developer within that to fix it, right? So then afterward, I'm saying that install npm dependency. Then I'm saying that Trivy scan because I have installed Trivy as well, right? Then afterwards, push this image to Docker Hub. Okay, Docker Hub already I have added, and the Docker tool name and the credentials I've added with the name as Docker. Okay, so the Docker, as I mentioned, that we are creating the image of our source code, right? Because we have reside one Docker file as well. If you check here, Docker file is there. Okay, so I'll show you that as well. So after that, I'm pushing to my account latest. Okay, here you need to update this your name, Docker Hub name, right? And you have to push to your Docker Hub account. Okay, after that, I'm scanning this Docker image in order to check the vulnerabilities available in the Docker image. Okay, then I'm deploying this Docker container right on our virtual machine, that is Jenkins server. Then afterward I need to have the updated of this pipeline status. Okay, so this is done. If you want to review the Docker file, if you check over here, right, you're able to find that I'm using alkaline node, that is light version, to make sure our Docker image size is reduced. Then I'm defining that workspace as an app/app, that is default. Then I'm copying package.json package log file into the app directory. Okay, then I'm running the command as npm install, because I need to install the dependency of my application, right? So that we will install it, and I'm copying all the code to the app directory. Then I'm exposing this application container on 3000 port number. Okay, and to make our application up and running, the command is npm start. Okay, that's fine. So now the point is that if I check over here, right, let me go to the srs, let me go to the package.json, right? So if you check here, there is a dependencies of this all need to be installed, right? Latest Fox, Chrome version, Firefox, Safari, right? Everything has to be depend. Like I need a package of React app, right? Star clone and this version library. This library need to be installed. That will be installed with which command? With npm install. I'm installing the dependency of my project. Okay, got it? That's fine. So now let's back over here. Let me cross check only one command which I have over here, and to update here, let me update over here, or I can go it just a second, zoom it, and let me cross check one more time. Did I mix anything? No, that's fine. So that's fine. You need to change this token name. You need to change the URL of your repository only. Okay, because your repository is private now. Okay, so everything is fine. You have no syntax error. Apply and save it. Okay. So what we have done, we have added the plugin. Sorry, I have added what? I have added all the stages of this Jenkins pipeline into our scripted, right? Into the pipeline, right? So here, if I go back over here and let us check, my EKS cluster has been created. Okay, how do we check over here? So let me go over here and go for EKS, right? Let me go for the EKS and let go for cluster as well to check that is there any cluster is created. Yes, it's created. The version is 1.0.30, what we have defined in our code, right? 1.3. Now what we will do it, we will just use this command to in order to authenticate our IAM user. Okay, so I will execute this as well. So that is done. Then later on what we'll do, we will create now node group. Okay, so let me just copy this, and I will show you this as well as CLI. So if I'm going into the Cloud Awesome cluster, so if you find over here, there is no node group has been created now, right? Not pass the command. So simply what I'm going to do it, I'm going to give the commands of creation of node group. As I mentioned that I'm going to go for AP South 1 node name 2 T3 medium to be size of our EC2 instance of the node that are basically are the slaves of Kubernetes slaves, and minimum 2 and maximum 4, and the node to be 3, and the volume size 20, and the SSH key which required to access this node virtual machines, right? Basically node groups are the virtual machines. Okay, Linux virtual machine, and that we required star which already we have in our account, AWS account. So I will hit enter. So what will happen, it will create one node group as well. So it will take more 3 4 5 minutes. So meanwhile what we will do, we will go and we will work on the Jenkins pipeline. So let me go and build this pipeline now. Okay, so let us go over this. Now we will start this one more type the pipeline, right? and we'll make sure that all the stages should be passed. If there is a stage, any stage failure, we will cross check and we will troubleshoot that as well. Okay, so what was the case which was failing? It was failing in the SonarQube. So it's stating that SonarQube analysis has been done successfully now. Okay, it have started. That means it's able to find the SonarQube server credentials, right? URL and everything. So it started scanning. It is in the progress. So after this, what will happen? It will go for the quality gate from the SonarQube. We will receive one webhook from the SonarQube server, and it will state that it is that need to proceed for Jenkins pipeline, all the steps remaining, right? So let's wait for this SonarQube analysis to be complete, and it's successfully completed, right? And it is installing now dependency. If I'm going for checking out console output, right? So if you check over here, the deleting of workspace has been completed. Then afterwards, it has cloned the repository using our secret. That secret name is GitHub token, which we have saved in Jenkins secrets. Okay, that is a basic vault. Okay, and after that, what happened? It has started the SonarQube environment, and it started the scanning of our repository. It has scanned all the things. So if you check over here, right after that, what happened? We receive one reverse revert back one webhook stating that it has to go status as a success. The quality gate is okay. After that, it started installing npm. So if you find here, it's prompting that multiple errors, or the warning is stating that this package is designed for node.js 14, but we have configured node.js 17, right? So this package has to be updated from developer side. So this all insight we will forward to the developer, stating that these packages need to be updated, right, to make sure that our application is up to date into the current version of all the applications, right? Node.js or any packages dependency and everything. So here also this type diff sequence, this library, right? And just diff library, all the libraries is stating out. So after that, it's creating one, it's scanning using Trivy, our file system, right? Getting scan. If secret scanning is enabled, then it is detecting the vulnerabilities available in our source code, right? Whatever the vulnerabilities are available in the source code, that will be scanned completely. Then afterwards, it's created one file name. That file name is what is the file name? That is trivy.fs, right? After that, what happened? It has login into the Docker using a ASIM 19 and the password what we have saved over here into the Docker Jenkins vault. Okay, login is successful. Afterward, Docker and build -t, we are creating the Docker image, right? Docker image of our application, and the name image we are giving as a StarBucks tag. Then afterwards, we are going with the sequence what we have written in the Docker file. Afterwards, is preparing to push this image into the Docker Hub. Okay, which Docker Hub? The icon which I have already mentioned above, that is ASIM 19. Okay. After that, it has started scanning our Trivy image of our image what new we have created. That is StarBucks latest, right? The latest image what we have created. Guys, meanwhile, what we will do it, we will go and we'll cross check over here. If you check over here, what we have created the node group, that also has been successfully created. Okay, the node group has been created and everything is has created. So that means I'm going to go and validate over here. So if I refresh over here, right, I should be able to find new node groups over here. See, the cloud ASIM node 2 and the node is created. And how many nodes are created? 3 nodes are created. Why it has created? Because I have given the node as 3 and the name as I have given the cloud ASIM, right? Sorry, cloud ASIM, and the node 2 I have given over here the name, right? So let me cross check over here what name is printing. Is printing the name as node 2. Okay. And even if I'm going to check out this one, right? If I'm going to check out even, and if I'm going to scroll down, so it should print me that I'm going to use this with which PEM key, and just let me check. See, the PEM key is attached over here. StarBucks. Okay, so this StarBucks PIM, I can access this virtual machine as well, because this has having one IP address as well, right? If I want to go into the node groups and I have to cross check everything, I can use this PEM key in order to access this node groups. Okay, so now if I'm going to was saying that there was no node group available before, right? So if I'm going to refresh over this, so I'm going to find a new node group is created. So if you check it over here stating that you don't have IAM policies, right? We will go back over here again to IAM user, right? And into the users, I'm going to add some policies, okay? I'm going to add some permissions. Here I'm going to go for attach policy directly. Then I'm going to attach some policies, right? These are over here, Amazon EKS cluster policy, right? Let me give it over here. Then I'm going to check it this. Then afterwards, I need to give it AWS over here. Then I need to give it this policy as well. Then afterwards, I need to give it AWS country read only permissions. And then afterwards, I need to go IAM read access, right? So I'm going to attach these policies additional to what we have existing permissions, okay? So the policy we have added, right? So what we will do it, we will update this from the virtual machine, right? CLI only. So what we need to do it, just I need to go and give the my region name. My region name is AP South 1 and the cloud name, your cluster name, what you have given. Just copy this command over this, right? Update your command. Just go for this and paste it over here and hit enter. What will happen? Whatever the policies we have added external, that will be added over there, okay? So that is done successfully. Now what I'm going to get, I'm going to cross check that I'm going to get the nodes or not, right? Simply I'm going to paste it over here and hit enter. So I should be able to find the nodes now, okay? So if you cross check over here, right? So it's saying that I have three nodes available on my account, right? So that error which we were having before, that has successfully been removed. If I cross check over here, so that is successfully done, okay? Okay, no problem. So already I have created this. So that is fine. Insight one. So add on version compatibility. Oh, no required. That's fine. Okay. So now what we have done, we have created everything. So the point is that when I have ls over here, right? So ll over here. So I need to go into the Starbucks and ls over here. So in this over here, the part, right? I can go to the Kubernetes, right? So if I ll over here, I have all the Jenkins file. Sorry, I have manifest.yml. Okay. So before that, let us go and cross check what is the status of our pipeline, right? So the pipeline was triggered over here. So it's stating that that is successful, right? So if I'm going over here and let me cross check, it's stating that it is successful, everything. So first thing that I need post build action, right? So for that, if I'm going to go and cross check over here, and if you refresh over here, you'll be finding one email stating that this pipeline phone number has been successful and it started by admin because we are using Jenkins UI to get this pipeline, right? So if you check over here, I'm getting one URL as well. If you click here, I'll be redirected to Jenkins, right? So this, if you have a user Jenkins user management, with that you can manage this as well. Okay. So now here I am attaching two files. If you see over here, 𝗏𝗏𝗃 txt file, right? So if you just zoom out, you're going to find all the vulnerabilities has been recorded from Trivy database. Okay, it's stating that there is a vulnerability of 34, right? 34 vulnerabilities, and one is libraries. All the libraries are mentioned that has been outdated, and the version is fixed, right? So the install version on our source code, right? In the package JSON and log package JSON, the version is given as 4.20, and the updated version is stating that 4.31, so that this file will be forward to to the developer team. So developer team, what they will do, they will update this version in their source code. Okay. So after this updating all this version, we will run one more time the pipeline, and to make sure there should all vulnerabilities should be zeros. Okay, the best part is that there is no secret has been leaked from the developers, okay, for this source code. So the secrets are 0, vulnerabilities are 14. In those 14 vulnerabilities you have low 4, medium 16, and high 13. So high should not 13, and critical is 1. So one has to fix immediately, then they will work on 13, then remaining in the based on their severity. Okay, so this will be fixed from their end. Okay, and even if I'm going to check on this vulnerabilities of a Docker pipeline, okay, sorry, Docker scan, Docker image scan, here it's also mentioned that what are the vulnerabilities available that we will be sharing with our team of DevOps team. They will fix this in writing the pipeline, and they will try to fix this one as well. Okay, this is a part of developer. So now as our pipeline, right, as I mentioned that this is our pipeline, right, what we have integrated, we have integrated SonarQube analysis. So I should go and refresh now SonarQube. So I should be able to find one project over here. It's stating that 8 minutes, so if I open over StarBucks, and if I'm going for overall, it's stating that I have 26 bugs, one vulnerability, 3 security hotspot, and security review, and I have like code smell 18, and the maintainability is 8. Okay, and the duplication of the code also is 13.7. Okay, that means out of 1.6 line of the code, I have 13 point is a code is duplicate. Okay, so this also will be sharing with the developer. So developer we will review and will make sure everything to be 0. Okay, so immediately what they will do, they will fix the security hotspot. If I check over here security hotspot, it's stating that okay, there is a something over here. So this is related to what the Docker file. So this DevOps engineer. Okay, so if it is not related to us, then it's fixing by developer. Okay, so if you check over here the bugs, if you check here bugs, even the bugs is giving unexpected front end. Here what happened is you have SonarQube user management as well. Okay, instead of assigning this, if you are you have permitted from your organization that you can assign this task to different individual developers as well, you can go and you can check over here and you can assign over here. Okay, so what you need to do, you need to add user into the SonarQube server. Then you can, from the drop down, you can select this task to be completed by XYZ developer. Okay, so this can be done by DevOps engineer or any developer lead. Okay, so we will be sharing this access to the developer lead. He will do everything. He will see the review of this box and everything. He will assign different tasks to different team members. Okay, so this need to be fixed by the developer as well. Okay, after fixing, you will receive one a ticket, right? As I mentioned that in the Jira, right? We will be creating one ticket. With that ticket, they will be mentioning that this has been fixed. Please run one more time CI/CD pipeline. So we will run one more time CI/CD pipeline. We will review and we will see that this bug has been reduced or it has been increased. Okay. So possibly we are integrating this with the pipeline. So whenever the code has been pushed to the repository, automatically it will be triggered, right? But still we will review and we'll have the monitoring of this SonarQube as well. Okay. So after this, what we have done, we have quality gate. As I mentioned that, okay, the quality gate we are receiving from the SonarQube, that's fine. Afterwards, I have done dependency, Trivy file scan. I already showed in the email, right? Email over here. So that's fine. Already Trivy is successful. App is pushed, the Docker image is created and that is pushed to GitHub Docker Hub registry. So what I'm going to do it, I'm going to refresh this Docker Hub account. So I should be able to find now one StarBucks. Okay, one StarBucks image that is in this. So if you check over here, they're stating that one image has been pushed, that is StarBucks. Okay, StarBucks image has been pushed. Okay, it by pushed in 8 minutes. Okay, that means our image is created, has been pushed to our Docker hub. Okay, so then afterwards, what I have scanned the Docker image as well. So that is done. Afterwards, I'm deploying this as a Docker container. So Docker container is exposed on which number, in 3000 port number, and the 3000 port number I have already enabled from EC2 instance, right? So I'm just going to give it over here, and I'm going to give it 3000. Okay, and hit enter. Sorry, I need to give it 3000. Hit enter. So you're able to find that our application is accessible now. Okay, I don't have any issue. So my it's already accessible. If I want to check any responsiveness of this website also, it's fine. It's working as a responsiveness, right? So if you check over here, it's working as a response. If you check over down in the down, the links also, I think that will be working. So if you click on this, okay, that's fine. I'm redirected to the official page of Starbucks India, right? And then remaining parts. Okay, so this is how you're going to deploy as a Docker container. Now the part will what we are going to do, we are going to deploy as a Docker container, sorry, as an EKS cluster, right? In the EKS cluster, I'm going to deploy as a Kubernetes pod, right? Now what we'll do is, now what we have done up to now is being the Ubuntu user, right? So simply what we're going to do, I'm going to go back over here. Let me switch to, right, cd12, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch as Jenkins user and configure AWS as well, right? AWS configure in that. For that command, I'm going to just go for switch as a Jenkins user, right? Let me go over here and I'm going to switch over Jenkins user, right? So when I'm going to switch on the Jenkins user and I'm going to check it that does I have configure the AWS. So it's stating that as a Jenkins user, I have not configured, right? I have configured as a Ubuntu user. So what I'm going to do it quickly, I'm going to copy the what I have right created at the time, right? So the user and the key and password. Let me cross check where I have copied. So what I'm going to do it, I'm going to copy the same existing AWS keys to in order to communicate with my AWS account, right? So simply I'm going to go and I'm going to right and I'm going to paste it, hit enter. Then afterwards asking the secret access key, I'm going to give it add over here, paste, and I will going remaining everything as enter. Okay, so now if I'm going to go over AWS configure, right, then it should print me the keys as well. Okay, so the key what I've given above has been created, right? That's fine. After this what we need to do is simply last a second, let me go over here. After that, let me see the what the present directory. As I mentioned that who I am, that's fine. I'm the Jenkins. So AWS configure we have done already. And let me just cross check with the credential like using the cat command. So let me just check it out that is it displaying or not. Okay, it's saying that I have already copied, that has been saved over here. Okay, that's fine. That is in the lab, that is saved in the Jenkins file. Okay, so the credentials, AWS credential, I have been added into AWS into Jenkins user. Okay, as a Jenkins user I have added, that is accessible in dot credential dot AWS and credentials, right? So that part is completed. After that what I'm going to do, it's simply I'm going to go and update my Jenkins file. Okay, in what we will do it now, we'll go and we will create add the step of Kubernetes cluster from the Jenkins, right? We are going to deploy our application into Kubernetes cluster. For that, I need to go and configure one more stage over here, right? For that, first what we will do, we will remove one stage, that is Docker PS, right? So because I don't require this stage, simply, okay, because I have already, sorry, I have deployed already this application, right? So simply what I'm going to do, I'm going to delete this stage. Okay, so that's fine. After this I'm going to add one stage over here. The stage will be covering all the details, right? The reason the stage I'm just explaining over here, just I'm saying I'm going to go for directory Kubernetes. The reason is that my source codes reside main.yml file that reside in Kubernetes, right? manifest.yml. So I need to go inside this Kubernetes directory. Okay, you got my point. After that, I'm going to sh echo credentials, update my cluster, then afterward config view, then deploy this application that apply this YML file. That file is manifest.yml. Then afterward, I need to have the get pods and get service. Service as a service, we are going to deploy on AWS load balancer. Okay, simply I'm going to copy over here, copy this, and I'm going to add into my pipeline script. Okay, don't worry, I'm going to give you the updated script. Okay, just with the name of Jenkins 1 and Jenkins 2, or you can copy and paste that as well. Okay, so this fine, then I'm added everything, Docker file, everything is fine. Just let me save it over here and let me try to oh, okay, just a second, there is a one error over here. and let me see what is the error of the syntax error. What is the syntax error? 1 2 3 4 stage is fine. Okay, save, configure. Expecting 1. Okay, let me just check it out where we have missed it. One more for bracket 1 2 3 4, right? So 1 2 3. Okay, fine, that's fine. We have missed that one bracket over here, so let me add it. Okay, so that we can just a second. So I think that will eliminate now the error. Okay, that error has been eliminated. The reason is that I have opened 4 bracket but I haven't closed that bracket, right? So I supposed to copy this, so I have done mistake of copying. Don't worry, so we are fixing with this way. So what I'm going to do it now, just I'm going to apply and save it. Okay, in the plugins, what we need to do it, we need to add multiple plugins as well. Okay, so I'm going to add Kubernetes plugin, right? Kubernetes CLI, then Kubernetes, right? I need to add Kubernetes, Kubernetes client API, then afterward Kubernetes CLI, then I need to add Kubernetes credentials. Okay, fine. You need to install these 3 plugins, right, related to Kubernetes, and install these plugins, and we will restart this plugin after completion of this installation of these plugins. Okay, so this plugin has been successfully installed. Now what I'm going to do it, I'm going to restart this Jenkins server. Okay, what we will do it, we already added the plugins as well, right? So plugin is added, dependency of the Kubernetes plugin have been added. Now what we will do it now, just we are going to trigger this pipeline, and we will see that how this application going to be deployed. In case of any failure or something else, we will try to troubleshoot and fix that as well. Okay, so let us go and review this uh, pipeline. So pipeline console. So if we check the pipeline console over here in the bottom right, so we have added the stage over here. It's stating that let me go where after this, right? So what happened, it's taking the credentials, it's verifying the credential is successful, the ID is getting out over here, right? The user ID and everything. Then afterwards it's updating my cluster. Then after what happened, it's taking the file, right? The file, which file it is, the cluster name and output JSON and everything. Then afterwards is going to deploy our application using 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗏 file. So what does 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗏𝗏 file contains, right? So if you check over here in the Kubernetes directory, right, in the folder, you have one 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗏𝗏 file that contains the deployment. I'm going with the rolling updates. So whenever we want, we need to update the packages. I'm in latest image to be updated and deploy into the Kubernetes cluster. And here I'm giving the container name and the image name which I have pushed into the Docker Hub. Okay, the image name what I have pushed to the Docker Hub is Asim Akram 19 StarBucks, right? So that name I have updated over here, and the container port 3000 because it's default running on the 3000, and we have checked as well as a Docker container, right? So that is done, and I'm on conferring a service as a load balancer. So what I required load balancer, right? So with that load balancer, I have port mapped that with 80 port. Load balancer works on 80 port. Okay. So that also has been completed, and the port number 30,000 is port map with 80. Okay. So now that point is fine. So let's go and CLI, and we'll try to access. Let me check out, is that is load balancer exposed? So if I check it over here, it's stating that load balancer is successful, right? So let me cross check which load balancer is over here. Let me go over here and let me get kubectl get all. Okay, this command I can get all the related configuration of kubectl cluster, right? So here I have a Starbucks service with the load balancer, and the load balancer is starting with a2.com, right? From a2.com. I'm going to copy this and I'm go back over here in the browser. I'm going to paste it this. Okay. So with this, I'm should able to access now. Okay. So load balancer, with this load balancer, I'm able to access my Starbucks website clone. Okay. Application clone. This is fine. Now I'm not going to give this load balancer to the customer, right? So I should give one domain so that they can access this application with this domain, right? app.cloud.asim.com. For that, my hosting is available with where with I have with a Cloudflare. Okay, so let me log in over here. So if you check here, we have successfully logged in into Cloudflare, right? Where I have a DNS. So I'm going to create one DNS, right? So for that, I'm going to add this in and CNAME entry, right? With the CNAME entry, I'm going to give it as app. Okay, I need to give the URL of this. Sorry, I need to give the URL of my load balancer, right? On which our application is working. So I'm going to give it as target, and let me try to save this. Okay. So this is successfully added over here with the name of app. So what I'm going to do it, I'm going to go and let's check it out with the cloudasim.com. So I should be able to find my application on app.cloudasim.com. See, if you check it over here, it's saying that app cloud asim is successful, able to access. If you click on this as well, so it's stating that this connection is secure and it has been applied one SSL certification as well, that is provided by Cloudflare itself. Okay, it's giving 3 months, it will be auto renew, no problem for that. So if you go over here, it's proxied. Okay, what do you mean by proxied? In the sense, it will give you one fake IPs if somebody want to net stat, sorry, if we want to check out DNS lookup or something else, so that it will give some dummy value, so that our application IP or the load balancer should be safe. Okay, so this is done. We have what we have done. We have added our domain, one domain to our application, right? So now the part is that what is missing from my end is we need to add one pipeline. That is for what we are going to add for. We are going to create one monitoring server, right? For the monitoring server, I'm going to click one new item, right? With that new item, I'm going to add it as monitoring server, right? So just I'm going to go for pipeline, then I'm going to click it OK. So if I'm going for the monitoring part, I have here, right? I have one configuration file, and even in the Terraform, if I'm going to use Terraform, then I have one Jenkins file over here, right? So just I'm going to copy this Jenkins file, right? And I'm going to paste it. So let me go over here and I'm going to paste it. Okay, simply I'm going to paste it. Now what I'm going to say is that, just I'm going to define two in the environment where I need to have AWS secret key and access key. This is not exist currently. So what we will do it, we'll go back over here and let's add the credentials as well, right? To in order to create this monitoring with the with Terraform. Okay, so let me go to credentials. In the credentials, add this as a secret text, right? I'm going to add as a secret text, and here in the secret I'm going to give it, sorry, I'm going to give it as secret access key. Now secret access key, where we have already created over here, right? So I'm going to copy this and I'm going to paste it over here, right? Just a second, let me go secret. Okay, so I'm going to save, then I'm going to just save this as well with the description I'm going to create. Now what happened, we have added one as a secret access ID. I need to add one more, right? So I'm going to go over here, The one more which I have need to add it over here is AWS secret access key, right? So variable I'm going to define over here. Then I'm going to give it just a second. Text in the secret test ID. I'm going to give it over here. And what I have created the credentials, that credentials I'm going to paste it over here, right? Paste it, and this one I'm going to copy and give it over here. So what happened, we already added the security credentials of AWS, right? AWS secret access key, secret key, right? That is fine. So the prerequisite is completed. So what I'm going to do it is simply I'm saying that apply an action. Okay, so here I'm going to check out one apply and parameter, right? I'm going to go for choice parameter, where I'm going to say that action. Here I'm going to add as apply and destroy, right? So destroy, spelling wrong, destroy. Then that's fine, that is fine. And the first step, what I'm going to say, go in the directory Terraform. So let us cross check, go into the directory Terraform, where I have main.tf, right? We have main.tf, then I have output.tf, then I have variable.tf. Okay, here I need to edit over here. That is that I'm going to use the key name as, give the key name as what I have used over here, right? So simply I'm going over here and I'm going to edit over here. So this was what, StarBucks 1. Okay, so simply I'm going to go and update this StarBucks and 1. Okay, StarBucks 1, StarBucks 1. I no need over here, just commit, right? You need to update this key as well. Okay, then later on main.tf, just I'm saying that create one EC2 instance, that's fine. Output also just I need over here, right? So this is done everything. So just I'm going to apply, save it. Okay, now what I'm going to do it, I'm going to build with parameter now. Okay, so I'm saying that apply, just build. So let's check it out at the status of this build as well. So it's saying that Terraform initialization is getting done, Terraform version is done, right? Because we already installed CLI Terraform, right, on our virtual machine. Instead of configuring that in the Jenkins, I have installed as a Terraform. Okay, you can work in the both way. So Terraform plan is done successfully. So let's go and monitor this as well. So if you go for the console output, go for down here, right? It's saying it's creating everything, right? The security group what we have sent getting created, the resources is getting created. So now what we required only one EC2 instance. Print our IP address, right? So if I go for the down, then I should be able to find one IP address is given. So I will take that IP address and I'll go for my SSH client type, right? Where I'm going to have the SSH. Then I'm going to give it remote host. Then I'm going to give it Ubuntu over here user. Then I need to give the key, right? The key which I'm using for this project. So that is hotstar 1. So I'm going to save it. Then I'm going to click on this. It will authenticate my EC2 instance, that monitoring server. Let me rename as well so that I should remember monitor, right? Monitor application, right? So it's stating that this is up and running, right? So let me update the package, sudo apt update -y. That's fine. So as we created from a Jenkins and Terraform integration, right? So if I go into the EC2 instance, right, I should able to fresh, then I should able to find there is a fifth server also is created, that is monitoring. Okay, so if you click over, it's stating that there is a sixth server, right? So if you check over here, it's stating that monitoring server. Okay, that IP already is there, 65 to 124 162, right? So what we have SonarQube monitoring, Jenkins server, and I have Cloud Asim 3 node servers, okay, on which our application has been hosted into Kubernetes. Okay, that's fine. So when we have updated these packages, what we will do it, we'll go to our back to our repository. There I have a scripts, right? In the scripts, I have two scripts over here. One is grafana.sh. So I'll be copying over this and I'll be creating one script over here, right? Grafana dot sh, sorry, nano grafana dot sh. If you hit enter, then I need to paste it over there, then control X. Okay. So if you check over here, I have written all the command that required Grafana to install on Ubuntu Linux machine. Okay. So after that, I'll be creating one more Prometheus, right? Dot sh. Okay. So here, if I go over here, Prometheus, you're going to find one Prometheus dot sh. I'm going to copy that. Okay. So this is in the project directory only. So I'm going to paste and I'm going to exit. In this case, you're going to find that what I'm going to do it, I'm going to install Prometheus version 2.525, sorry, 51.2. Then I'm installing wget to fetch this libraries. Then afterwards, I'm moving this downloaded file, that zip file, right? The tar file which I'm using to ECT Prometheus. Okay, and I'm creating one directory Prometheus there where I'm going to move this all the all files related to Prometheus installation on this ECT default directory. The reason is that ECT hold configuration files. Okay, so instead of keeping on the root directory, that home 1.2, I'm moving to that ECT Prometheus. That should be safe side. Okay, so it should not be deleted by any users or something else. So that's fine. Then afterwards, everything after creating, I'm fetching this wget. Then afterwards, I'm moving everything to the directory which I've specified above. Then I'm giving the executive permission. Then I'm creating one service as, right, the service name as Prometheus. Okay, so control X, Y, yes. Okay, then I'll be giving as such MOD to X to Grafana, right? Then I'll be giving the same command executable permissions so that I can execute this Prometheus as well. Okay, so let us execute this. If I LL over here, I should be able to find this executable permissions has been given to shell scripts. Okay, so let me go with the Grafana part. So Grafana will be installed. Okay, Grafana has been successfully installed. So let us install Prometheus as well. Okay, after that, let install one utility tool, and let's start with that tool. We're going to see on which port number that these two tools are working, right? Monitoring tool. So it's creating one service, that is services active also, right? So if I'm going to net start, so it will state as you don't have this package, so I need to install using this given below. So I will install, right? By default, you should know that Grafana works on 3000, right? So even let me use sudo netstat hyphen tulnp, right? So it's stating that 9000 9090 is Prometheus and Grafana is working for 3000. Okay, so this port number I need to go and enable in this virtual machine, right? So I'm going for the security group, then I'm going for security group enable, right, where I'm going to add inbound rule. In this inbound rule, okay, I'm going to enable 3000 and 9900 9090. Okay, so 3000, then I'm going to add over here is 9090 for Prometheus, right? Prometheus. Then I'm going to add for Grafana. Okay, so I'm going to keep it from anywhere, just, and I'm going to save it over here. Right, so now what we will do it, we will take this IP address of this EC2 instance, right? Let me go to the monitoring, then I'm going for details, then I'm copying over here, then I'm be pasting over here, right? Copy, and then I'm going for 3000. So it will start my Grafana, right? Grafana tool. So here I should log in with the name email, right? Admin is the default. I'm going to log in with this. Okay, new password. Just give you the new password in order to submit. Okay, that has been changed. So if you check over, this is a dashboard of Grafana. Here you need to configure what you need to configure the Prometheus as well, right? So the Prometheus can be done with the data export. So let me just check out the dashboard connections part and the data source. In the data source, I'll be adding data source Prometheus, right? And the Prometheus, I need to give the URL of the Prometheus. So Prometheus by default is running on the same virtual machine on which Grafana is installed, right? So I'll be going in the name Prometheus, then I'm going to give it here as 9000 port number, right? And authentication, I have not added anything which is accessible uh, through the browser. So let me open and let us check it out. Is the Prometheus is accessible or not, right? Sorry, 9090, right? Prometheus is accessible. So I did one mistake over here. Need to add 90. Then everything is done. Save and test. So this is successfully able to fetch this content over here, right? So just save and test. That's fine. So let's go home. Now what we need to do it, we need to configure something, right? So for that, I'll need to go for uh, Prometheus.io, right? Meanwhile, I'll show you the file also which contains Prometheus dot right monitoring. Let me go over here. Then there is a txt file where I need to add this everything, right? So this we will add it over here. Before that, what we will do, we will install black box. So for that, okay, I'm going for wrong. Let me go for prometheus.io downloads. Now what I'm going to do it, I'm going to install node export, sorry, install a black box exporter. Usually black box exporter, what it will done, it will, if you check over here, right, what it will do it, just let me click on this. I will be taking over here, right? So if you simply check it over here, it's stating that, okay, it will probe the endpoints over HTTP, TCP, ICMP and everything of our, right? So basically what we are going to do it, as I mentioned, let me go back over here. Then I'm going to copy this link for Linux, just copy. So let me go over here and wget, paste it, hit enter, right? And ll over here you'll be finding one tar.gs. So how you're going to unzip this one, to for that command is a tar 𝗬𝗃 and the name of this file. So hit enter, it will be executable, right? Let me go to cd, then black box, enter. If you ll over here, nano black box, nano black box dot yml, right? If you hit over here, there is a configuration file for Prometheus. Okay, this is fine. Now what I need to do it, I need to go and add in the Prometheus, right? That the details of that. Okay, if you ll over here, where is my file I have saved in the ACT? There is a Prometheus, right? Prometheus, right? If you ll over here, then we find a Prometheus.yml. So let me go into the Prometheus YML file, right? And if you check over here down, let me go, I need to add over here where is my node exporter has been configured, right? For that I need to go to my GitHub repository. Over here I have already added the job, right? And paste it over here. The notation should be excite. So let me cross check. I'll be suspending this right? Just reopen one more time, then exactly come here, then you give it 2, then you paste it, right? So here it will be fine now. Okay, so now I need to do it, I need to give on which IP address, right? So on which IP address application black box is running, right? So for that use case, what I need to do it, first thing, target probe. Okay, so here let me give it over here one IP address, just a second. Node exporter. node exporter is running on which it is running on this port number, right? So let me copy of this on this, let me paste it, right? Here what I need to do, I need to give it just only the IP address and the port number, right? That is fine. And now in the part what I'm going to monitor now, right? The point is that I'm going to monitor two things. First, I need to monitor my application, right? Then afterwards, I'm going to monitor HTTPS as well. Okay. So just let me give it over here. Then I'm going to give it the name. What was it? Okay. On which my application was running. Let me cross check app.𝗏𝗏, right? So let me copy over this and go to over here and I'll be pasting this as well. Okay. Then I need to give it over here 443. Okay. Just to make sure that HTTPS protocol need to be addressed. Okay. Here I'm going to give it on which my application is running as a Docker container, right? So we have created one Docker container as well, right, of our application. What was that on which Jenkins server is running? So let me go and paste it over here so that you should be able to see that as well. So in our case, you don't have basically the domains, right? So you can monitor your IP address with the IP address only. Okay. So let me copy this IP. Then I'll be going over here. Then I'll be pasting. Right. Let me cross check one more time. Okay. So what we are monitoring? We are monitoring our application which is running on our port number. Then we are monitoring the domain as well. Okay. The two things is done, and on which the application node exporter is running, that is running on this virtual machine, which is for the monitoring server, right? Control S and Y. Okay. It's done. Let me just copy it. I guess. Let me duplicate this. Okay. So let me go to switch to super user, right? cd-ect one more time. Prometheus nano prometheus.yml file. Then afterwards targets. After the targets, I'll be copying this just to make sure, because I have not used sudo permissions, right? I have not given sudo to while creating this file. So that was the issue. Just instead of rewriting everything, just I have opened this monitor into new term, right? So when you start nano, just use sudo nano. Okay. So that will fix, and control X, Y, save. Okay. Here I will just cancel this. Okay. Now what I have done, I have added over here. So what I'm going to do it, I'm going to stop this service, right? Systemctl status Prometheus, right? So here what I'm going to do it, I'm going to stop this service and restart it again. Okay. So just I'm going to use to apply the changes what I have given, right? So stop, then give it as start. Okay. So now it will take, and let me go and check Prometheus, right? Let me just go for targets. See, targets is unknown, so it will take few seconds. Let us wait. Let me check start -2 and let me cross check. Okay, that's fine. So let me go over here and start the node exporter now. Okay, so ll cd/home ubuntu Okay, LL over here and CD, I think I missed out to start the black box exporter. Okay, so if LL over here and then SH, then I'm going to export this. So dot here and then I black box, then I have giving and so that it should run in the background. Okay, so it's stating that this is up and running now, right? So just hit enter. So now after that, let us go and refresh in few seconds. IP address 65.162. That's fine. 115 is possible. That's fine. So I should able to find now, right? So let me refresh this. Let me copy this and paste. Sorry. Mm, okay. Do you know what's the error over here? Okay, I missed out to open the port. Sorry, guys. Okay, that's what the issue. That's fine. So monitoring server security group. Go for this, and then I'm going for edit one edit bound rule. Then afterwards, I'm going to open over here. Then 9115, right? 9115, and I will add as over here black box. Okay, this is done, right? So I have added 9115. So I should able to find now. Okay, that's fine. It started fetching all the logs. See, if you check over here, the logs also is getting over here, right? So now the error on the Prometheus side should able to fix now as well. Okay, so let's go and give the targets. So it's up and running, right, in 1 second only. It started scrapping all the data, right, related to this. Now how we are going to add over this into our dashboard, right? The metrics what we are seeing now, it is in .txt format, which we cannot see it, right? So we required one visualization. For that I need to go for dashboard, and here let me go for here import. In the import, I'm going to click on this. Then I'm going to say as a black box. Okay, so let me go over here. Node exporter black box, right? So just I'm going to copy this ID, right? I'm going over here and I'm going to give it pre-build dashboard site. I'm going to say load. Then afterwards, I'm setting data source as Prometheus and import, right? So if you check over here, it started fetching all the details, right, about that. If you check my domain over here, stating that their status is okay, SSL certification has been enabled for that. That is 1.3, and SSL certification will expire in 52 days, and probe is giving in 0.04 the data has been fetched. Okay, so if you cross check over here, it will refresh every time, right? If you go over here, it will refresh. And if I want to access, let me go and access this one more time, my application as well. So if you check over here, it started fetching the log, and it's providing one visualization dashboard from which we can monitor if there is a something goes on. We can take the alert and alert and inform your monitoring team, whichever is there, to fix or to find the solution. Right. So whatever the resources we have created for this project, we are going to delete this. Okay. So how you're going to delete this first? So for that, we have created using Jenkins, right? So simply I'm going for Jenkins monitoring server, then afterwards build with parameter. Then I'm going to select here, instead of apply, I'm going to give it as destroy. Well, let me go one more time. Go for build with apply or destroy. So I'll go with the destroy. Just hit build. So what will happen? It will start and it will destroy all your resources created for the monitoring server. Okay. So this part is done. How you're going to delete now from your EKS cluster. Okay. So for that use case, what you're going to do it? You simply go to the server on which Jenkins is there. So and you're going to delete this as well. Okay. So what are the service we have that we are going to delete all, right? So if you check it over here, stating that is successfully deleted now, right? So if I'm going for EC2 instance, then I should be able to find one EC2 instance is deleted, right? So let me refresh this. Yes, one EC2 instance has been reduced, right? So if I'm going for this stopped version or going for stopping, terminated, shutting down, or I'll click it all. Yes, monitoring service is terminated, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go for a CLI and delete whatever the resources I've created, right? For that, I have created three resources, right? If you check it over here, I've created one EKS cluster, then I am IOIDC provider, then I've created NodeCube. So in the same sequence, I'm going to do it. First, I'm going to delete in the reverse way, right? First, I'm going to delete the node group because node group has been created later on, right? So just I'm going to click over here, paste, hit enter. So it will be deleted. Then afterwards, what you need to do it, you need to pass these two more command, right? So just override your cluster name, whatever you are going to give it. If you have given cloud asim, keep existing. If you have given any another cloud cluster name, then you can follow with your custom name, custom cluster name. Okay. Meanwhile, I will delete remaining which I have created manually, right? I have created SonarQube server. So just I'm going to click it and I'm going to terminate this EC2 instance. Okay. So that is done. Jenkins server as well. After deletion of EKS cluster, I will delete this as well. Okay. Team, deleting of all the resources. Don't forget to share, subscribe with your friends so that they can have hands-on knowledge about that how you're going to ship your code to your Kubernetes cluster with the best practices to make sure everything is secure in this part. Okay, and hope to see you in your next video. If you check over here, all the cluster resources were deleted. Okay, so that means we have deleted all the resources, everything over here. So if I'm going to go over here into Kubernetes cluster, so I should not find any cluster over here. Even I'm going to check over here, there is no cloud asim nodes is available. So I can delete now Jenkins servers as well, right? In order to just terminate this. So I don't require now. I have created, okay. So we have created the resources and deleted the resources. Thank you team and see you for the next video.